Good evening, Sierra and our viewers. It's not always easy living around the same people in the war for several years. Today, Robbie Bentley is interviewing Dave Jensen, a veteran from Vietnam, about a little scuffle he had with another soldier named Lee Strunk. Robbie?
Thank you, Jordan. So, Mr. Jensen, I heard that you got into a fight with another soldier last week. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, man, I woke up one morning and my favorite jackknife was missing, and I just knew it was that little thief, Lee. So while we were on patrol near the LZ Gator, I fought him. I hit him repeatedly, and I just had to break his nose.
Really? I heard he had to be choppered off the scene. Is that true?
Yeah, I got him pretty bad.
You heard it here first, guys. Back to you, Jordan.
Thanks, Robbie. This next story is about how, although war is an awful thing, there are some good times, or ways to make war seem not so bad. Robbie Bentley is interviewing Tim O'Brien about how some of the good memories he has from during the war.
So, Tim, what are some good memories you have from being in Vietnam?
Well, let me think. Every evening before dark, two guys, Norman and Henry, would play checkers. It was a ritual for them. Checkers is like war, but simpler and easier to understand. There is also times when a man named Ted went too heavy on tranquilizers, and someone would say, "How's the war today, Ted?" And he would say, "Mellow, man. We got a nice mellow war today. Pretty chill,
Yeah. Haha, why do you remember these stories from the war? Because I bet you have a lot more not-so-good memories, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, oftentimes remembering leads to a story which makes it forever. That's what stories are for, Stories are for joining the past to the future. Stories are for eternity, which memory is erased when there is nothing to remember except the story.
Wow, that's deep. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien, for sharing those thoughts. Back to you, Jordan.
Good evening, Sierra and our viewers. Today, Robbie's going to interview Tim O'Brien, a Vietnam War veteran, about some of the things soldiers carried when they were in the war. He's also going to interview Tim O'Brien about his friend Jimmy, his love life. Robbie?
Hello, Mr. O'Brien. So tell me, what were some of the things your friends carried in the war?
Well, everyone carries their basic supplies, their necessities, which could weigh anywhere from like 12 to 18 pounds. Jimmy carried letters from a girl named Martha, who he was deeply in love with.
Speaking of Jimmy and Martha, what was going on between them?
Well, Jimmy said that he was deeply in love with Martha, but she simply thought of him as a friend in the war. He was a good guy, but she just didn't like him like that, just like friend zone type stuff.
I hope he's moved on and found a new love. Back to you, Jordan.
Well, that's all for today, folks, on CNR. See you next time.